Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Two Bear Arms broadcast. We're very excited to do something a little out of the normal here. We're going to interview Jim Smith for sheriff for the upcoming election here in Kosciuszko County. And I know we have a lot of listeners to our channel that are local, so this should be of great interest to you. We become good friends with Jim here at Two Bear Arms and love his stance on the Second Amendment and his views on law enforcement, obviously. So that's the reason we have him in here tonight. So we appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. So we'll jump into a few questions here.
Sure.
One topic that's been big in the shop with a lot of customers and then just general media coverage of it is the new constitutional carry.
Sure.
And what can you tell me your stance on it and how you feel about it?
Well, obviously, I'm a supporter of it. I'm a big believer in the Second Amendment. And so this is just consistent with that belief. If I could change anything, it would be that we could reciprocate that through the whole United States, that everyone goes to that. So, sure. But yeah, I was excited to see it get through, and I think that was a win for Indiana. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And, people come in all the time asking, well, hell, now I don't have to go get a gun permit. Now I don't have to. That is true. And the one thing that I keep reminding folks is for statistical purposes, what I suggest is that you still go get your lifetime carry permit. It's basically free. I mean, you still have to pay the processing fee of it. And I think there's another small fee for
maybe a fingerprint fee or something pretty minimal compared to what it was, for sure, right? Yeah.
But the big advantage to that is then you have the ability to use that permit in other states where your constitutional carry will allow you to carry in Indiana without permit, but it won't allow you to go to Michigan. Correct. Or Ohio. So that gives you the ability to do that. But more so, and people don't realize this, is that statistically, we need to keep gun permits on file for the state of Indiana because that's the only statistic then downstate that the legislators can look at. Kurt Nisley and I've had this discussion. This gives them the opportunity to look at it and say, well, this many Hoosiers have gun permits. Sure. Where if nobody bothers to go get the permit, while, like I say, the constitutional carry is a great thing. Sure. And I think it's, a fantastic advancement for the Second Amendment. Still go ahead and get that permit. And then that helps downstate for them to recognize that more Hoosiers carry guns than don't. Sure. So
makes perfect sense.
But no, I'm glad you're a big supporter of that. That's very important. Another topic that everybody always wants to know if somebody's going to be coming into office, any type of office, doesn't matter which, but for the Sheriff's Department in particular, what type of changes can the public expect once you come in? What would be some of the changes you would want to make right away? Yeah,
that's a fair question, Kurt. And I think anyone that's been following my page can see that I'm pretty passionate about the status and the condition of our jail right now, with the damages and the illegal narcotics that have been coming in. It's got a lot of it needs a lot of work, and so there's other areas obviously that could use some attention too. But for me, it's going to be the jail. I'll start with, and I'm a lead from the front type of guy and leader, so I'll roll my sleeves up and be right back there with those guys trying to get it in order. And what I mean by that is implementing certain policies. I did a video not too long ago about one of my desires would be to implement a drug detection canine into the jail. I feel that we're past due, and I feel that we probably could have put one in there years ago, but the time is now. I think that we need to do that. And, is it going to stop everything? No, but it's definitely a proactive tool that is out there that so many jails and prisons throughout the U.S. have gone to this measure, and I certainly think that we can all benefit because of it.
Sure.
What's nice about those, the drug detection canines for the correction facility is it can also be cross-trained for other things like electronic devices, so for like cell phones and things like that. So I definitely, is it an upfront cost? It is, but I think when you compare that cost, Kurt, to costs that would be associated with overdoses and lawsuits stemming from from overdoses inside a jail, there's no comparison. So I definitely think that the time is now. We need to do that. We have a body scanner that's back in the that was implemented back in the jail in 2018. Okay. It was a $130,000 piece of equipment, so it was pretty expensive. To my knowledge, we haven't had any consistent training on that body scanner since the implementation of it. I would like to have regular training with that with that body scanner and policies in place that we're using the body scanner consistently. As inmates come in, as they're coming out of court, and so on and so forth, use it the best that we can. And I'd like to take it a step further and even have somebody, at least one person on staff that is proficient and has the expertise on that body scanner. So as we get new employees, we can have the train-to-trainer type atmosphere and spend some time with that person that is proficient in that body scanner to learn the ins and outs of it. So you're not just turning it on, you're actually understanding what you're looking at as you're running somebody through the body scanner. Sure. and how it works. So those are some of my desires there. I think daily and weekly walkthroughs need to be done for the damage aspect of things. Keeping a log on I just feel like it's gotten kind of out of control in some aspects on some of the damages that have been happening over the last few years with the sprinkler heads and the light fixtures and tables coming undone from the floor and so on and so forth. I just feel like as leaders, we need to do a better job on having a handle on that and, having policies in place that'll help keep that under control.
Sure.
Lastly, the body cameras is something that me as a patrol officer, I've been wearing a body camera for the last few years, and I got to admit it was kind of a pain when we first went to it because it was something new. It's kind of like when they put the computer in my car up in Syracuse. When I started, we didn't have a computer, but you adapt and, you overcome. But the body cameras was the same thing. Nowadays, I wouldn't like going on a call without it because it takes away that false accusation of something that I did or said while I was on a call. Well, the jail officers were issued the same exact body camera, so that expense has already been paid with the software on for downloading the units and things like that. And to my knowledge, there is no policy today on for the jail officers to wear them. So that's something I will implement. We'll have a policy for the jail officers to wear. Sure. And have those body cameras activated when they're having an encounter with an inmate, and it's to protect everyone involved, the jail officer, the inmates, and Kosciuszko County taxpayers from lawsuits and things of that sort. So those are some ideas for the jail. You move on to patrol. I have some ideas on how to streamline some of our patrol division and utilizing some of the state and federal grants that are out there. You'll see. Sometimes you'll see it like in a paper for like Operation Pullover and things like that. I'd like to, I have some ideas on how we can get some, utilize those grants, but have some of these officers in some of the smaller towns, the outlying areas inside the county, to have that visibility inside these smaller communities that maybe they don't always see officers because of the lesser call volume and things like that. So sure. I have some ideas there on how we can get some more get some more visibility out there in the communities. And community policing for me has been a big attribute to my success, I feel, as a policeman. I like people. Sure. So having those conversations with people is important, and just building those rapport with your community is imperative, especially nowadays with law enforcement. So
sure. And that leads me into my next question, I guess, is community programs in general wrapped completely around the community of Kosciuszko County. What kind of implementation or visibility or things that the community can expect to see under your administration?
Well, I talked about community policing. I'm always going to be thinking outside the box on how we can get officers out there and build those rapport with the community. So that's important. JCAP, the Jail Chemical Addiction Program that's in the jail, it's been a success under the current administration. And I have a few ideas on how we can continue to grow that program. And for me, it's adding a little bit of structure to the everyday operations of the program. I'd like to reach out and have a service component to the program, one that can be a benefit to the community. So you're not just hearing about JCAP, you'll be seeing JCAP, right? Okay. Lastly, out of the gate, I'd like to form a partnership with a collegiate organization to help us with the statistical portion of the program, so I can provide the most transparency to the community as to the success of the program. Sure. So basically give them the information, and they crunch the numbers, and we can present it to the community, and there's no questions. I hear a lot of questions now. Well, who figures out the success rate? How is it? How long are they basing that off of, and so on and so forth? I think by partnering with with an outside entity like that, I think it can kind of take away some of those concerns.
Sure, absolutely.
Provide the most transparency.
Give them a good baseline to understand exactly what the normal is, and then what's increased or decreased in those respects. So
another, if you don't mind, another program that I did do a video on not too long ago. It's something near and dear to my heart because I am a veteran, and I served this great country. It's kind of like a battle buddy type program. One that it's catering to those that served, right? So countless times over my career, Kurt, I've gone on calls with veterans that are struggling with whether it's PTSD or other mental like crises. And one thing I remember hearing from so many of them, Kurt, is that they don't feel comfortable talking to somebody about their issues that can't relate to what they're going through.
Sure.
So that's kind of sparked an interest for me to develop a program that's comprised of officers, and it doesn't matter what agency they work with, but officers that have also served that can be that resource for those people. So when we do have a call like that, we can reach out to those officers that are also veterans and have that one-on-one with those struggling veterans and provide them with the resources that maybe they didn't know was available to them.
That's a great idea.
So we're excited. We're excited about that, and hopefully, if the election goes our way, that's something we can get implemented. So
sure. That's great. That's great. And another thing that I know departments across the United States, I've got several relatives still in law enforcement. And, I retired a few years ago from law enforcement, so I kind of keep a pulse on it a little bit. But, retaining good talent, finding good talent, keeping good people, not only for road patrol, but for dispatch, for jails, for administrative. How would you command? How would you retain these people?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it absolutely starts at the top. And that camaraderie is so important, especially today's day and age. A family-style environment is key to that, in my opinion. Inviting families and their kids to Christmases and to a ball game in the summertime or a hockey game in the wintertime, having that cohesiveness within the employees and their families, and that'll go a long ways, I think, with employees, and just those gestures that, hey, you do matter. Hey, take some time out and have a good evening with your family on us,
right.
type thing. That goes a long ways, I feel, and
sure.
You can't forget about certain entities of the department. I know that right now we have a spousal program for patrol. So basically, the patrol officer spouses they get together once a month, and the sheriff, I think, provides them with a meal and that sort of thing. And then there's a counselor that can come and speak with them. I think they have different themes or different ideas that they talk about and stuff, which I think is great. What I'd like to do is extend that to every division in the department, not just patrol.
Yep.
I feel like you kind of put yourself in a corner when you just offer that to one division as opposed to all of them. So when I say that, if we're going to do that, I think you need to do the same for dispatch. You need to do the same for work release in the jail, and all the other divisions. I think that'll go a long ways by doing those types of things.
Super. Well, it's great to have you running. We're excited about your campaign. We're excited about the election coming up real soon.
Soon, 2 weeks from today. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other last comments or anything you want for the community to hear?
Nope. Vote Jim Smith on May 3rd.
There we go. Folks, we thank you for watching this special episode. And Jim, we wish you the best of luck with everything. And we look forward to following your progress here after the election.
Thanks, Kurt. I appreciate it.
Thank you, folks, for watching. As I always say, keep your powder dry. Thanks.